So I have been reaching out to all 51 city council members and just letting them know I'm either thankful that they're on our side or very disappointed that they're not, and asking that they reconsider their position on a horse carriage ban bill. And I would ask all of our supporters out there to do the same. You can call their district office, their legislative office. You can leave them an email. You can leave them a voicemail. And it's like really insulting that some of them say, I'm this animal abuser when like I do this because I'm an animal person. I've worked with this horse for about 9 years now, almost. My other horse is newer. I only had him about 2 years. But it's also like, think about what you're doing to our horses. If you had a cat or a dog for like 10 years and then you put them in a new home with new people, new animals, new surroundings, new routine, that doesn't usually go well for that animal. They get pretty upset about that. So for these horses, this is their routine. These are the horses they're around. These are the people they're around. This is what, is their home. So it's just really wrong to be like, well, we'll just find them another one. Especially when you don't know me. You don't know my horse. You've never met him. I'm out here with my horses almost every day. It's just really dehumanizing to be like, you'll just get another job. Don't worry, we'll give you retraining. They actually aren't even giving us retraining. They're gonna have the city basically demand the city make a program to retrain us. We don't want to be retrained. We've spent decades being horse people, being equestrians. This is our trade. This is what we want to do. For us, this is not just a job. This is a passion in life. This is a lifestyle. We're horse people. So that's just really cruel. One council member was like, oh, we can, find you a different job. Like, no. This council, not council member, that was a council member rather, but there was a staffer of a council member that I spoke to who said that, Nick's just like napping in my hand here. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just kind of holding up his weight right now so he can take a nap. It's pretty slow out today. It's tourism has been down all over the country, which I just found out as I drove all over the country and heard from everyone that works in tourism. But anyway, I was speaking to this staffer of a councilman, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my horses. I don't know where I'm going to live. I don't know what I'm going to do to earn a living, like if something like this went through. And he's like, oh, we have solutions for your horses. So I'm like, okay, first of all, I don't want to be separated from my horses. Like, that is not right to be like, don't worry, we'll just take your private property from you and figure out something else with it. No. Second of all, the bill has a lot of flaws with that because you cannot dictate what someone does with their private property. In our case, our horses, and that bill does. Be a lot of constitutional issues that we would fight with lawyers if it got to that point. And also, there are so many horses without homes all over. There are so many horses that are not in good care, that do not have the guarantees our horses have for a good life. And if there is a home for one of those, take it. Give that horse a home. Don't take that spot up with my horse, who doesn't need that. Why are you going to make these horses have such uncertainty? Why are you going to, take away potential homes when there's so few? They're just not in the loop of it. The other thing is, this bill would say that the horses cannot work anymore, devaluing them. It's very expensive to care for a horse, especially in a city, but anywhere they are. So if you say that horse can no longer earn their own income, you're putting them at risk. How is this person, whoever they are, supposedly, going to take over this horse, and could be a healthy young horse that, should be working, and now they can't pay for their hay anymore. They can't afford their care anymore. How are you going to cover that? What about those thousands of dollars a month you need that they can't, get from working their horse? It's just going to be a pasture pet. Just stand there. It's not what horses are made to do. That's not what is in their mind, in their physical build to thrive. They need to be working. in some capacity. And yeah, you have rescue situations and you have health issues sometimes with horses, and you have them eventually retire, get too old. But we're not talking about those kind of horses. We're talking about relatively young, healthy horses that should be working still. And what are you going to do with those horses? You're just going to ruin their lives. So this has just been really frustrating, talking to these council members, hearing what they have to say. We did have a couple council members drop off the bill relatively recently. We see Carlina Rivera, who resigned from city council, and Crystal Hudson. I don't know if Karina Sanchez was on the bill, but she was against this. She has not sponsored it. At least she's not a sponsor right now. We had, I know Shauna Brew was not with us. I didn't see him on that bill. So we are back down to 20 sponsors. Again, that number doesn't really matter. You can have a bill with like 30 sponsors and it never goes anywhere. But if the bill did advance, they would need 26 sponsors for it to pass. So we are just continuing to thank Lynn Schulman, the chair of the health department, where the bill is, that she has not advanced this bill out of the committee, because it does not deserve to have a hearing. Nothing's changed. We're still taking good care of our horses. And that also goes for the Speaker of the City Council, Adrienne Adams. We are still thanking them for not moving this bill. And we'd like to finish up this year this way. And then if another mayor, another council member wants to introduce a bill all over again, we will fight that bill. But in the meantime, let's just let this one expire and get into our new administration and, just keep fighting this. And yeah, again, it's just some of these council members that are just not cool. There was one, Christy Mamarito. I had spoken to her staffer who was at first kind of sympathetic. He just didn't realize there is so much support for this industry because unfortunately you guys have not been calling city council. We need you to. It's only the people, small, vocal minority that is reaching out. We need our quiet majority to actually reach out and let everyone know there's a lot of support for this industry. You guys don't want our horses going anywhere. So this councilwoman, there was a carriage driver, a woman, Christina, who tried to speak to her, about our industry and fill her in. She hasn't visited the stables or spoken to us or anything. I'm pretty sure our union had even endorsed her at one point. So I'm thinking of a different councilwoman, but anyway, she was just like, no, you're an animal abuser and I don't want to hear anything from you. It's like the first person that speaks to you, you don't realize that you're hearing corrupt propaganda, and now that's just the story you believe. You don't actually want to hear from the real people who are with the horses every day telling you the truth. So that's really unprofessional. That's not right. That is disgusting to have a councilwoman in an office like that. Talking about constituents, talking about people, who are members of the society, who, are doing the right thing by their horse, who vote, who, pay taxes, who are, we're people. We have lives. We have families to feed. Cats to take care of. Cats. It's sick. And when someone either takes away or attacks, someone or something that you love, that does a lot to a person. That changes a person. And that's the side of us that, these council members are starting to see.